Hey guys, it's Paul with the Saltwater Edge, and today we're going to be going over my holdover fishing setup. It's a little bit different than my late season and early spring setup in the fact that everything is going to be a little bit lighter. First, we are going to go over my rod and reel selection for holdover fishing. I like to fish a Lamiglass GSB 9-foot light. I like this rod because it's rated from 1/2 to 2 ounces, allowing me to fish a lot of the lighter lures that I like to use this time of year, while still having the option to go up to about 2 ounces if I really need to. I also have it paired with a VR 151 reel. Typically I fish a VSX 250, but in the wintertime I just like a lighter setup and I don't need as much line capacity. I would ideally fish with a VR 125 or VR 75, but I'm a lefty, so I need the right hand retrieve, and this is the smallest right hand retrieve fan stall that is offered. For holdover fishing, I have my reel lined with 30-pound Cortland Master Braid. A lot of the guys here in the shop have swapped over to that line in the past year or so, and we all seem to really like it. It has similar to abrasion resistance to Power Pro Original, but it's not quite as rough, leading to smoother casts, and it's just more comfortable to fish with over time. I also use Andy 30-pound mono for my leader. Typically I'd use a heavier leader, but in the wintertime I'm fishing estuaries, not really targeting boulder fields, so I don't really need the extra abrasion resistance with my leader material. Alright, now we're going to dive into my bag, and we're going to start with soft plastics. So the first two soft plastics I like to fish are the GT sand eels. I really like them because they imitate a lot of smaller bait fish that are around in the wintertime, and everything seems to eat them. Ideally we're targeting striped bass, but where I like to fish in estuaries has a ton of white perch, and they really like these as well. I'm fishing them on a 1/4 ounce Z-Man striper eye jig and a 1/2 ounce Berkeley Fusion jig. I really like the Berkeley Fusion jigs because they swim really nicely in the water, and the hooks stay razor sharp all season long. Now we're going to move into the shop favorite. These are the no live bait needed 5-inch swimming mullets. I have it on a 3/4 ounce jig, and these are awesome. You can fish them really slow. They're relatively buoyant, so they don't just sink straight down to the bottom, and they have a really nice wide profile. So they differ quite a bit from the sand eel jigs, which is nice if you do run into a pocket of peanut bunker or larger bait that decided to winter over in the estuaries that we often fish around here. All right, now that we've talked about soft plastics and jigs, we're going to move into the main part of my bag, mostly plastic swimmers and a little bit of topwater. First lure I want to talk about is the Daiwa SP minnows. These are great search baits, and I have a lot of confidence in the smallest size. It's going to be 5 1/8 inches long and just under an ounce, I believe. Most colors will work. everyone has their own preference on color. I really like the laser shiner color, the bone color, and the blurple color. I think between the three of those, you cover the color spectrum pretty well. Right, the next lure I want to talk about is a Rebel jointed lure. This one's going to be about 5.5 inches long and weigh probably about 3/4 of an ounce at the very most. It swims a little bit shallower and a little bit tighter of a wiggle than the SP minnow, so it's a slightly different presentation. And I really like this lure because I can work it as fast or as slow as I want, and the action is going to stay pretty similar. Just dive to different depths based on how fast I fish it. The next lure is going to be a Yozuri Hydro Twitch Bait. I really started fishing these about 2 years ago after starting here at the shop and noticing a lot of people purchasing these. You can fish these extremely slow and they just dart erratically side to side, which I really like. Or you can fish them pretty fast with a pretty steady retrieve with steady rod pumps, and the action is still quite erratic but a little more subtle, and the fish just seem to really react well to it. Following the Yozuri Twitch Bait, we have another Yozuri plug. This is their 3D inshore fingerling. I've only been fishing this one for a little while, but I really like it so far. It casts really well. It's got a slightly different shaped bill on it, which does allow it to dig in a little deeper than both of the other swimmers I showed you. And for whatever reason, the fish really like this when the smaller finger mullet are around. The next swimmer we're going to talk about is a Yozuri mag darter. This is the smallest size in the holographic bronze color. I think this one imitates peanut bunker really well, and it has a really nice tight wiggle that is just really irresistible to striped bass. It also has sliding internal weights, and I can load most of the lighter rods that I fish really well with this, and it's probably the longest casting lure that I've showed you guys so far. As you guys can see, I like to keep a nice light setup with me. These are normally short trips of opportunity, so when I get the chance, it's just a grab and go setup. I like to fish a nice 2-2 bag, and these are the lures I like to carry with me. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something about holdover fishing. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below or contact us at support@saltwateredge.com. Thanks.